Welcome back to the Matrix. And into the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news and analysis. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share so other people can spam that like button. Let's get into the action. All right, it is May 20th, 2026. As of the time of recording, we are about 2 minutes after market open, 8:32 a.m. Central Time, 9:32 Eastern Time, and Bitcoin, as of the time of recording, is sitting at $77,198. Now, what we talked about, what we wanted to see in the next few days, we're definitely getting signs of that, strong signs as of right now. We can see that, number one, the 5-hour chart has flipped bullish. It did that yesterday, which is a good sign. Number two, we have put in a slight higher high on the 5-hour RSI as well. That is a really good sign. And number three, right now we are battling with the 200 on the 5-hour. So this is where we wanted to reclaim by Wednesday or Thursday, was reclaiming about that $77,000 range. Now, what I would like to see today or tomorrow for double, triple confirmation would be the 5-hour for Bitcoin getting on top of the 200 moving average. Okay. That is what I would like to see. If we could reclaim this, like something like this, getting a body to close on this, what you would classify this is as it would be a confirmed higher high, back test, higher high, back test again. We want to reclaim this 200 firmly in order to classify it as such. Okay, so that is what we're going to be looking for today or tomorrow. One thing we talked about in the Telegram yesterday was we had a really strong signal on Ethereum doing micro Wyckoff accumulation on the 15-minute chart. We had our selling climax, secondary test in phase B, and we thought that this was either our LPS or our spring. We had two major bullish divergences that were taking place at the same time. Number one, for Ethereum, the volume was going down as the price was going down. What does this show us? This shows us that there is selling exhaustion. And number two, we could see that the RSI was going up as the price was going down. And number three, the price is going down as the RSI. So three major bullish divergence at the exact same time. And the same thing we said in the very short term, which is going to lead towards the bigger long-term picture. It's like we're getting accumulation within macro accumulation. So that is a really good thing. And this was the trade, that we put out yesterday for that. And I'll show it. We talked about this. This was the 19th. We talked about the deep oversold on the 5-hour RSI. We haven't seen the same level since February and October. So if we look at that, we will show that same thing was happening. And we've already flipped on Ethereum here. You can see deeply oversold. We got down to 20, which again was the lowest that we've been since February. So when you're deep oversold like this, crossing to the upside, this could have a bigger long-term move. Ultimately, we will need to get above the 20, which is about that 2140, which to me is what it will confirm it as my theory as being true. And then we can go through everything. We had the bullish divergence on the 15-minute. Volume was fading. RSI was fading. 5-minute flip bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And liquidity stacked to the upside. So that was my thesis on all of that. And we gave these targets: entry at 2100, stop loss 2072, and then the take profits are 2140, 2196. So the take profits haven't even been hit yet, but this is deep in profit already. So that's what we went over yesterday. This was a higher conviction. Normally I have really high convictions on long term, medium term, but typically I don't get like super like bam, this is where we're at on a 15-minute chart. But I felt that way yesterday. It was very strong. We'll see how this plays out. But right now, looking very strong. So We've technically reclaimed the 200, and we want to hold this as support. That's what we want to see. So that is where we are at. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance, and let's go through the market here. I'm seeing overall good signs out of the market right now, but what we want to see, just for clarification again, too. Oh, by the way, too, another really good thing that we're seeing too, from Bitcoin on the daily. So we came up and tested the 200-day moving average, got rejected, right? Came back tested the 50-day moving average. And what we're seeing on the MACD is, unofficially, we'll see how this day closes, but if we could close like this, about this same price in the 77K range, unofficially, again, it will close about 7 o'clock my time, PM, Central Time. But if we close around the same price, we're going to see that the MACD is now cooling. This is what I call it when it starts cooling. You can see what I'm talking about here. So you can see it's like expanding. It's that vibrant red. And then you have one where it's starting to contract a little bit, and you have a dark red. And so what this is showing is that the selling is cooling, okay, on the daily chart. So again, this is a lagging indicator. So by the time you actually flip bullish, generally most of the move is already done, right? And I'm going to show this for the last few times here. So this is the last time we flipped bullish, was May 5th. You can see we're already in the midst of the rally, and the bottom was back here. But when we look, like, okay, so let's look at it like this. Here is the last time you go into that contracting phase. Here's when it starts cooling. Well, you can see the local bottom is already behind you. By the time you start cooling, typically the bottom's already behind you locally. So here again, last time we flipped was April 2026. We were in the midst of a rally already. And then what do we see? Here's where we start cooling. March 30th. Where was Bitcoin? That was it. So the local bottom was already the day before at 65K. And then on March 30th, the low was 65.7. So the bottom was already behind us. And you can keep doing this all the way back. So, like, you know, it's not a 100% hit rate. I'm sure you could find some variance, but this has a lot of success seeing, like, hey, this is one thing that we look for to see, like, hey, is the local bottom behind us? So here again, MACD picking up. You have your climax. Then you start to cool. When do you start to cool? February 6, 2026. What was the bottom? February 6, 2026. What's happening now? What do you mean? Bitcoin is up in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin is green today. That's what's happening. Market opens, dumps again. Yeah, listen, you can't pay attention. There's a reason that I don't trade. So if you join my Telegram group and you start trading with me, what you'll figure out is I don't trade the first 30 minutes because it's nonsense. There's no real moves that happen. Is Jam still bullish? I have never watched one piece of Jam's content in my life. I have no idea what Jam thinks. You tell me. Never have I ever. You tell me. I have no idea. So listen, if you join my Telegram group and you start trading with me, what you'll find out is I don't trade the market open. I don't trade the first 30 minutes. That is conventional wisdom, but I think it is wrong. And there's a reason for it, especially in crypto, is like you have all these nonsensical moves that happens in the first 30 minutes that there's no rhyme or reason. It's just the market just liquidating stuff. And then you start to get the true move of the day, 9, 10 o'clock. Never trade the first hour. Yeah, that's a good rule. Like, here's the deal. Here's some here's some free advice for you guys. And think about it like this in basketball. Okay, I want you to think about it like this in basketball terms. Okay, think of trading, being a professional full-time trader, as being in the NBA, and you're a professional full-time basketball player. Now, me, I am a 5'6" white guy. I can go to a basketball camp. I can watch some YouTube videos on how to cross up and how to finish at the rim. I am not ready for the NBA Finals. Just because I watch a YouTube video on some cool patterns and this cool shot. People do that in trading. Understand, at 8:30 Central Time, you are trading against the SGAs, the Wembys, the Donovan Mitchells, the LeBron Jameses, the Luka Doncics of the world. I have no interest in going against the LeBron James of trading. None. Zero. I have no interest in that. I would highly suggest you don't go on. This is what people do, okay? It sounds ridiculous if I put it in terms of NBA. I watched a video on this cool pattern. To the rim. Aha, now I'm ready for LeBron James. No. It sounds ridiculous when I say it like that, but what people will really do is they will go watch a YouTube video on Head and Shoulders. This signal did this thing, and it's always, and then they'll try to take that to the real apex predators and wonder why does their lunch money keep getting taken from them. There's levels to this. And I say that to say, I don't trade the first 30 minutes for a reason. Nor should you put any weight into what is happening in the first 30 minutes. Because it's not the real move for the day. We'll get the real move in about an hour. Ski, opinion on Agenda 2030. I have no opinion on that. You tell me. Hey, I'm not in a long swing. Good time to enter. I think so. Said you should clip that and post it to help out lots of folks. All right. There we go. That is a good video. Where's Bitcoin going today? I would like Bitcoin. So what I talked about yesterday was we wanted to see Bitcoin reclaim this 200 5-hour chart. If we can get back into the 77.5 and hold that, that's a really strong start and a really good sign that, hey, this was a breakout back test at the prior range. And there's lots of signs, that we can look at to say, hey, did we get, how oversold were we here, really? So on the 5-hour chart, we were 25, which is the most oversold we've been since February 6th. And the time before that was the most oversold that we've been since back in November. So this is a deep correction of being oversold, and this goes to my point. A lot of people, hey Ski, so you still have your beard? Yep. 50K daily body close, and I will shave my beard. That is the bet. That is the bet I've had for months, and for months it has not. He says it grew back. Yeah, I shaved my beard when I was wrong. I did it live the day it happened. And then I grew it back, and then I made a new bet. I'm 10 for 11 on beard bets. I am 10 for 11 on beard bets throughout my career. That's pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty damn good. All right, yeah. So we want to see Bitcoin reclaim about 77.5 today or tomorrow. That would be beautiful. That would be a breakout back test of the prior range. No way Bitcoin is going to 50K. Your beard is safe. I think so, but I thought so when I bet it like at 60K, at 65K. People thought I was in danger. You know, they were really pounding the table that I was going to have to shave my beard at when we were at 60K. Okay, so, you know, the point here that I want to make, and one thing that I talked about yesterday too, that some people in the comments were telling me that it's not true, but I made the point that I think that the bullish parts of the month are going to be way more bullish and the bearish parts are going to be less bearish. I think that that is unequivocally true. And so you can make the point like we gave the gains back from this local high here. It only took, you know, what, 14 days to give all the gains back. And then, yeah, that's true. But we haven't given all the gains back, though. That's the thing. We're back testing to 77K 2 weeks ago. We were pumped that we went to 77K. We were at 65K and went to 79K. And we were pumped at being at this basic same price. Now we're pissed that we're here. That's my point. So no, we haven't given all the gains back. This is a higher low. And the same is true for XRP. This is a higher low. The same is true for Ethereum. This is a higher low. Solana's not going to $20. Yeah, I agree. VeChain, please. I think neither Bitcoin is going to 50K nor is Solana going to $20. If that were to happen, then we have real problems. Because I need you guys to think about, like, what is going to cause that? Did downtrend get invalidated? We are not in a downtrend. Who said we were in a downtrend? My brother, does this look like a downtrend to you? Who said we were in a downtrend? DAG is going to rip. Bottoms in for Ethereum at 2,000. Watson said downtrend. This is not a downtrend. Respectfully, like at no point, since we have been in an uptrend on a macro time frame since February. We've been putting in higher highs and higher lows. We've been on a rocket uptrend since April, going from 65K up to 82K. And the low that was put over here, we are still above. This is clearly an uptrend. Now, if you want to say we're on a downtrend on like the 15-minute chart or the hour chart, like sure, I'll buy that. We're on an hourly downtrend or like a 30-minute chart downtrend. Sure. 15-minute chart downtrend, but I think that that's even been invalidated. We took out this range over here. I talked about this as being micro Wyckoff accumulation. To me, this is the sign of strength back test. And we've taken out the whole range. So even if you want to go by a micro downtrend, that has been invalidated. Yeah. Looks like a bear flag to me. It looks like a bear flag to all of retail. Retail has been calling for bear flag, and they were screaming bear flag right here. They were screaming bear flag. and then they were screaming bear flag here. And then we got to the top of the range, and then we broke out of it, and then I didn't hear anything about a bear flag. Here is the deal on what an actual bear flag is. In order to confirm a bear flag, here's the actual rules, which bear flags are the least reliable. There is no BlackRock that's trading bear flags. There's no Vanguard that's trading bear flags. There's no Fidelity that's trading bear flags. There's no high net worth professional trader that's trading bear flags. That's only something that retail uses. Period. That is the clear pill. You can take your medicine or not, but that's the truth. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth. Professional traders do not use bear flags. That's the truth. That being said, the actual rules, if you want to use it for your own trading journey, go like this. In order to confirm a bear flag, what we have right now is an upward wedge and a potential bear flag. In order to confirm a bear flag, Bitcoin must break this low with conviction. At that point here is when a bear flag would be confirmed. Not here, not here, not here, not here, not here, not here, not. No part of this has been a confirmed bear flag. Once you then confirm a bear flag at this point right here, then and only then you have a 70% chance of it doing what you want. Definitely a bear flag. Is it? That's what they said over here. I'm pumped that bear flags are back. That makes me very happy because that, you know, when it was the loudest was right here. The loudest, I could not go anywhere on Twitter, on TikTok. Bear flag, bear flag, bear flag. What about the bear flag? What about the Hermus was right here at the bottom. The best time you could have bought Bitcoin in the last month was when bear flags were being screamed the loudest. But no, it is definitely not a bear flag. It is a bear flag. This is how silly retail is. Retail doesn't even know the rules to their own doctrine. They don't even know the rules to what they're trading. A bear flag is confirmed here. This right here, if Bitcoin were to go to here, that is when it is a bear flag. This is how silly retail is. They don't even know the rules of what they're trading. Is it better to go with a small cap like Cetus instead of Sui? I like Sui. I think Sui has a pretty good chart. BMAR says June 1 to 3, ETH will be over $2,500. I think so, actually. I don't think that's a crazy take. I would be more inclined to believe like you might be a week early on that. But I think we're going to be rallying into the 14th. And I think that Ethereum will put in a new high. Like a new yearly high. Yeah, I agree. I generally agree. I don't know if the exact time, but I'm not a time-based analyst. I'm a structure analyst. So you might be right on. You might be better at time than me because I suck at time. But I think that we're going to be rallying. I think our danger zone as far as like the bearishness The worst part of it is going to be between now and the 30th. So we're in our like 10-day window right now of whenever a local bottom likes to show up. And I think into the 2nd through the 14th is we're going to be rallying. Ethereum update. Yeah, I like Ethereum setup here. So we put this out in the Telegram yesterday. We have a lot of, so this is really micro analysis, and I'm going to go to macro. Normally I go to macro to micro, but this is, to me, is Wyckoff accumulation in the short term. Now, invalidation, I'll give you invalidation levels, would be like 2060 would be an invalidation of this. But to me, this is doing LPS version. So you have your selling climax, your secondary test, your LPS, and then you go to your sign of strength, and then you start your phase E, which to BMAR's point, that would put us at 2,500 by the end of this, mark up here. So you have selling climax, secondary test of phase B, LPS on the 15-minute chart. Okay. Boom. Boom. Okay. Now, what are some things of confluence that we can see? Well, the selling climax is the climax of selling. Okay. So what do we see here? This is the highest volume. The volume is going down. The price is going down. The climax of selling had the higher volume. That is typical. Selling climax, the secondary test in phase B, textbook, goes lower than the selling climax. But this is the climax of selling, the highest volume. Okay? Oops. Also, the price going down, the RSI going up. RSI is on an uptrend here. The selling climax, it was the most oversold. Secondary test in phase B was less oversold. LPS was less oversold. So what is that telling you? It's telling you in the micro that the selling exhaustion is coming either here or near. And then you get your sign of strength, which would be clearing this range right here, would be confirmation that, hey, that bottom in the micro is in 2150. And then that would signal that we're going to start the markup, which I think is going to have us rallying into the middle of June. So that's where we need to get. We need to clear this to confirm this as the LPS. But there's really strong signs. And then when we go macro, like on the 5-hour chart, we can see this is the most oversold that we've been since the bottom back in February on the RSI. We have flipped bullish on the 5-hour chart, on the MACD. Really good signs. Also on the daily chart, what do you see? We are starting to cool unofficially. We'll see if it's official at 7 o'clock tonight. So why am I talking about that? You see how this is dark red and less than right over here? This is picking up momentum. This is now losing momentum. Okay, and if we look the last few times, and a lot of this isn't 100% accurate, but it has a really strong hit rate. By the time you start to cool, the bottom is already past you locally. Okay? So I'll show you the local bottom. So here's the full strength. You start to cool right here, May of 2026. The local bottom is already in. Okay? What about right here? You're picking up momentum. You start to cool. Bottom is already in. you pick up momentum. About over here, you're picking up momentum. You start to cool. February of 6th, bottom is already in. So, good signs. We're not out of the woods, but a good start. Both short-term and bigger time frames. The things of confirmation that I want to see out of Ethereum is going to be 2150. Taking that off would confirm my thesis of liquidity is stacked disproportionate to the upside. And we talked about the LPS or spring. The entry that I gave, because we went slightly below it during the trading session yesterday. So it wasn't even the best entry. You could have got like 2097 or something like that. 95 was 2100. Stop loss 2072. Take profit 2140, 2196, 2260, 23, 24, 30, 25. So there you go. Bro, almost 95% of Twitter and Insta are extremely bearish on crypto, calling for another crash like October 2025. It sometimes feels scary by design. By design. Now, good practice for you. Write that down. Get a journal. Write down, what are they saying? What is crypto Twitter saying? What is Instagram Twitter saying? Or Instagram crypto saying? What prices are they calling for and why? And then go back and look 3 months later. Go back and look 3 months from now. What you will find is they are never correct. And by design, the apex predator uses fear to manipulate people. That is just a fact. So when you feel maximum fear in the market, that's a good sign. Take note of that. Journal it, figure out what does it mean, and dial that in, calibrate that, and use it for your advantage. Observe, do not absorb. I'll give you an example. What does that mean? Observe, do not absorb. Be aware of what crypto Twitter is saying. Be aware of what TikTok crypto is saying. But do not get on that roller coaster ride. Because then you will be manipulated. You will then be herded like sheep to the slaughterhouse. Okay, I'll give you an example. You know those like spinny rides on like a tabletop that you go like this and it spins you like round and round at like the fair or carnival? Carnival. I know for a fact, if I get on that, I will get sick. I will yak. I do not do spinny stuff. I know for a fact, if I get on that ride, I will yak. 100% of the time. So what does it mean, observe, do not absorb? That means if I'm at a fair or an amusement park and I notice that ride over there, I can be aware of how that will make me feel if I were to get on that ride. But I don't actually need to get on the ride to be aware of the feelings. You should do the same thing with investing. Be aware of the emotional roller coaster ride that they're trying to place you on. Be aware of where they're trying to send things. Do not get on the ride, though. You don't need to yak to know that you'll yak. Hyperliquid is doing great today. Man, the more that I ponder on Hyperliquid, I don't own any Hyperliquid. I think that's a mistake. Hyperliquid is doing great today. Wow. This is a key level too. I actually just talked about this with a client of mine. He likes Hyperliquid a lot, and I was looking at the chart for him. And I was saying that the 702 is the decider. Typically, if you get above the 702, you're going to go to price discovery. Typically, if you get rejected at the 702, you're going to come back to like the 0.5. So this was a huge level to break through. Massive. So I think that the probability that we go to price discovery is a lot higher today. So $82 for that. Now, here's my thoughts. I don't own any Hyperliquid, but I told him yesterday if we got rejected here, I would probably add some. I don't think Hyperliquid is going to give you crazy returns. In fact, I don't even think it's going to outperform Bitcoin. So, like, we're talking $50 to $80. Like, that's not even a double. I mean, even yesterday at $45 to $80, you're talking an 80% return. That's great. You know, you're beating the stock market. 60% return from today. That's good. That's really good. It's nothing to sneer at. But I don't think Hyperliquid will even outperform Bitcoin. But what I do like about Hyperliquid is the way that it is positioned. And again, I don't own any. I'm just like, I'm pondering it myself for my own personal portfolio. So I'm like really chewing on what are the possibilities and just thinking out loud. I like Hyperliquid not as an ROI play, but like as a up play, a general safe. It's a top 10 cryptocurrency. But it has this, it's positioned in a way that it can succeed regardless of market conditions. So if Bitcoin is getting liquidated, Hyperliquid is going to do well. If Bitcoin is pumping, Hyperliquid is going to do well. If oil is rocketing, Hyperliquid is going to do well. If silver is rocketing, Hyperliquid is going to do well. If oil is getting capitulated, Hyperliquid is going to do well. If silver is capitulating, Hyperliquid is going to do well. And so, like, the positioning of that, because of the function of Hyperliquid, again, I don't think the ROI is even going to outperform Bitcoin. But I like its ability to perform well regardless of market condition. I think that that's an important thing. My music volume's a little loud. Is that better? Again, I don't own any Hyperliquid. I am considering adding a position. I don't think the ROI is going to be crazy. Like, I mean, 50% should be your expectation. But I really like about it that it has this posture and positioning where it can... Your music is too loud. Still? I just turned it down. It has a posturing and positioning to where it can do well regardless of market conditions. Sorry about that. It's because I did a podcast and I forgot to bring it back down. That's my fault. All right. So Bitcoin, to me, this is at a critical level here, like macro and micro. What I think this is macro is this is just a touch of the 200 getting rejected, back testing the 50, and then we're going to test it again. 82K, like getting a daily body above 82K to me is when it's going to start to have real breadth into the market and really start to expand into the market. It says when moon. So getting above the 200 is going to be the big level. Now, the slope of this is still really far down. And so generally, like if you look at the slope of, let's just show like a quick little lesson on this. When you're on a downtrend macro, like we have been since October until February, the slope, think of the slope like a hill, is really steep on the 20, on the 50, on the 100, on the 200. It's really steep. And so when you meet it, you get rejected. And the big ones are the 100 and the 200. Typically, the 100 being really sloped down like this will push you lower, as we saw. You come up to the 100 and you get pushed lower. The slope is still really far down on all of these. And then we trade sideways. You break above it, you backtest it. You come to it, the 50, you get rejected. You break above it, you come to the 100, you break above it. Now the 100, the slope is opposite. The 50, the slope is opposite. The 20, the slope is opposite. So the 100 is now sloping up. The 50 is now sloping up. The 20 is now sloping up. That's the posture we need to flip the 200, which it's still sloping down pretty far. So it might take another 2 or 3 tries. Let's see if it's the same posture, though. It's deviating a little bit. We can see. Like, the slope is easing as I just pulled this from over here. But it's still got some work to do. Like, what we want to see out of the 200 to really clear things and start to get things going is something like this. That's what we want. And then we want to see the 20 get above here, the 50 get above here, and then the 100 get above here. And that would flip us fully bullish on the daily chart. And then we would want to see the price do something like this. And then boom. All right, reminder, guys, we will be live trading with the Telegram group right after this. If you guys want to get lifetime access to the Telegram. I live trade, record all the videos, give all of my take profits, all of my stop losses, all of my entries. Does Bitcoin always reject off of the 200 in B market? Not only the 200 is such a big level on literally every time frame, right? I can go through and show you. Let's just do it. On every single time frame, the 200 is such a huge level, which is why I thought that 60K was the bottom, because guess where we went to? Where's the posture of the weekly chart? The 200 is on the bottom and is sloping upwards. Where do we come to? Where do we test? The 200. Where do we bounce off of? The 200. Where was the bottom generally last time? The 200. Did we go below it slightly? Yes. But if you would have bought the 200, you would have bought $24,000 Bitcoin last time. Where was the bottom in the C19 crash? The 200. Where was the bottom in 2018 bear market low? The 200. Where was the bottom in 2015? The 200. Where was the bottom in 2016? The 200. Yes, the 200 week typically is where your bottom is. There's only been one time when we go through it, and now everyone thinks that this is the base case. Even so, are you happy with a $24,000 Bitcoin average price right now? People get too cute. But yeah, on every time frame, you will notice the 200 is a huge level. It is the biggest level of resistance. It's the biggest level of support. So this dance here that we did over here, it was the same thing. Back in February, we came up to the 20, got rejected, came lower. Well, a higher low. Came up to the 50, rejection, higher low. Came up to the 100, rejection, higher low. Came up to the 200, rejection, higher low. Then we break above it, back tested as support before going higher. And then where are we interacting with right now again? The 200. So again, if we reclaim this in the next couple of days, $77,600. Well, guess what? We just broke out, back tested it again as support. Is ETH going to blast off from here? ETH looks pretty strong. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Ethereum. I want to see a reclaim of the 100, which is that 2150. Same thing. You could count this as a breakout back test of the support here. I like that the daily chart is now cooling on Ethereum. You can see by the time you start cooling, the local bottom generally is already behind you. Right here, you start cooling, March of 2026, the bottom's already behind you. You start cooling right here, February of 2026, February 6th, the bottom's already behind you. So today, unofficially, we'll see how it closes at 7 o'clock my time. But this is already cooling. So that's a really good strong, that's a big time frame, strong sign. Says it's me again. 45K. Mark my words. We marked it 76 times and we're still waiting. You've been saying it for months and we're still waiting. You said it at 65K. You said it at 60K. You said it at 65K. You said it at 70K. You said it at 75K. You said it at 80K. And you're again saying it at 77K. I'm not affirmable. Me either. Me either. I sold Bitcoin at 118K. I sold it in 2021 at 50K. I sold my silver at $107. I sold my XRP at $3.33. I'm not a perma bull either. That's a narrative that you like to say because you are a perma bear, permanently broke, permanently waiting for the bottom that will never come. But I have video evidence that I sold Bitcoin at 118K. I have video evidence that I sold XRP at $3.33. I have video evidence that I sold silver at $107. I have video evidence that I accumulated silver at $20. I have video evidence that I accumulated XRP at $3 or 33 cents. I have video evidence that I accumulated Bitcoin at the average price of 22K. What you're calling a perma bull is someone who has a decade of a track record of buying low and selling high. That's not a perma bull. What's your track record? I have video evidence of mine. Good and bad. Up and down. You act like a sheep? Yes, I agree. I act like a sheep by having the opposite opinion of retail and every other content creator. You act like a sheep. You are going to be slaughtered. You are literally in the herd, being herded like a sheep, going to the slaughterhouse. Name another creator that was bullish in February and said that they are pushing the chips forward. Name one creator that February 24th publicly pushing the chips forward. Name one. Answer this. Is 50K still in play? No. It's not. Because I don't live in the world of schizophrenia. I live in the world of reality and practicality of like what would actually have to happen for that to happen. Because World War III and the Hormuz being shut down could not put in a new low. So what would literally need to happen? Your beard bet and hair bet is if it dumps below 50K. Why is that? Because here's the secret. I don't bet unless I think it's safe. That's a pansy bet. Honestly, retail doesn't think it's a pansy bet, but it is a pansy bet. Here's what I actually do on my beard bets. Here's why I'm 10 for 11 on my beard bets. What do I think is going to happen? What's a ridiculously low number below that? That's where I bet. So the real number was 60K. That was the real number for me of where I thought a bottom would show up. 58K, I have limit orders. So me making the beard bet at 50K is a pansy bet. Because I think it's beyond safe. Ski, you got a Discord? I do have a Discord, but I'm not active on Discord. I don't really use my Discord. I think I posted something in it yesterday. But I'm mainly on Telegram. That is where I do all my trading. That's where I'm about to go right now, actually. I'm about to go on Telegram and live trade with my group. If you guys want lifetime access to that, you can go to yourboyski.com or DM me Telegram. I want to thank BYDFI for sponsoring this video. You can use the link in my description, and they are having a 60% deposit bonus right now. So make sure you guys can use that and get a free 60% ROI. you can leverage trade in there. But yeah, if you guys want lifetime access to Telegram, DM me Telegram or go to yourboyski.com. That is going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Peace, love, prosperity. I'll be live tomorrow about the